Hello, I'm Mike McCulloch. So today I'd like to explain why I'm so confident that quantized inertia is correct. So for that we need to have the information that the wavelength of unreal radiation is given by 8c squared over the acceleration of the object. So that is the wavelength of unreal radiation that is seen by an accelerating object. Specifically, that is the peak radiation in the pseudo-Planckian spectrum that it sees. So if you look at a typical galaxy, in the center the acceleration is quite large because the stars are orbiting in a quite a tight circle. As you go out to larger radii in the galaxy, though, the acceleration reduces. So in the center of the galaxy the stars are seeing very short unreal waves because the acceleration is high, so 8c squared over a is quite small, so the wavelengths are short. As you go out to higher radii, though, the acceleration decreases, and so the unreal wavelength increases. Now it turns out that at exactly the radius that the unreal waves are the size of the cosmos, and so these unreal waves might start not to fit within the cosmos, that is the exact radius at which the galaxies deviate from Newtonian behaviour. So this is a direct implication of unreal radiation and the mechanism behind quantized inertia in galaxy rotation. It shows us that it is this mechanism, it is the quantized inertia mechanism, because you could argue that, okay, maybe it's some other wave that's doing it, but what other wave would have exactly the same wavelength as unreal radiation? You might as well just say it's unreal radiation. So I think this is the best proof I have that it has to be quantized inertia, and I think in some ways it's similar to what James Clerk Maxwell found when he decided that light was an electromagnetic wave. He developed the model for that, and it happened to predict the speed of light, which had already been measured. It had already been measured by that time, and so he got a nice shock that his model predicted something that had been seen directly, and that was very good evidence the model was correct. So I think quantized inertia has had proof of this kind. There's nothing else that could cause this, so it has to be quantized inertia. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this short, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.